Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 physically strongest horror movie villains.
Sally, I hear something. Stop. Stop.
You're dead! And you ain't taking me with you!
For this list, we'll be ranking the horror icons who aren't only strong in the scare department, but who consistently wow us with their brute strength. Horror/sci-fi hybrids will also be considered. We realise there are a lot of options out there and want to hear who physically frightens you most down in the comments. Number 10. Xenomorphs, Alien franchise. They're the perfect killing machine, an extraterrestrial species capable of laying waste to entire civilizations. They're xenomorphs, and there's a laundry list of reasons why these resilient buggers are so tough. For starters, the xenomorphs combine the best of offensive and defensive abilities, from their acidic blood and relentless attack patterns to their impressive physical strength. Plus, the xenomorph's tail is sharpened to a bladed tip, and they are deceptively fast considering their size. Whether you're facing off against a single xenomorph or multiple attackers, you're going to have a bad time.
Over there! Get him!
Number 9. Pumpkinhead, Pumpkinhead franchise. Stan Winston was a legendary special effects artist, responsible for award-winning work on such films as Jurassic Park, The Terminator, and Predator.
You're one ugly motherfucker.
Perhaps slightly less well known is Winston's work as a director, specifically his debut film 1988's Pumpkinhead. The titular creature was designed by Winston to be as physically imposing as it was visually revolting, and that's saying a lot. Pumpkinhead is literally the demon of vengeance, a powerful manifestation with a relentless determination to destroy the marked ones, named by its conjurer.
It's okay. I'm sure the boy's gonna be fine. I'm sure his father's taking care of him.
Its muscular frame, sharp tail, and frightening talons make an instant impression, while that face only a mother could love is unique enough to be both fascinating and completely horrifying. Number 8. Candyman, Candyman franchise. The Candyman's origin story is brutal, so it's perhaps only fitting that he's become an equally brutal horror icon. As if his demise at the hands of a mob wasn't horrifying enough, there's the whole bee thing too. The character, once known as Daniel Robitaille, was slathered in honey and left for the insects, so yeah, he can now control a literal swarm of bees. More importantly though, actor Tony Todd is a physically intimidating presence, a stately and powerful man who brings so much to the Candyman character.
Be my victim. Be my victim.
Oh, and then there's the Candyman hook, a sharp instrument of death that Todd wields with such quiet but imposing menace. Candyman is one of the most underrated horror strongmen of all time. Number 7. PLUTO, The Hills Have Eyes franchise.
It's breakfast time.
Together, Wes Craven's original The Hills Have Eyes and the 2006 remake have earned this horror franchise a devoted fanbase. There's a lot to like about these horrifying films, but at the heart of its terrifying appeal is the family of human flesh-eaters who waylay unexpected travellers in the desert. You're not supposed to play favourites with family, but as far as physical strength goes, PLUTO is a clear standout. We're particularly partial to Michael Berryman's performance in Craven's 1977 original, a big, hulking bear of a man who terrorises the Carter family alongside his psychotic brethren. Michael Bailey Smith's iteration of PLUTO in the 2006 film is also burly, strong, and physically fearsome, making him a worthy follow-up to Berryman's definitive original. Number 6. Leatherface, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre franchise. It's one of the most iconic scenes in all of horror cinema. That first appearance of Leatherface in Tobe Hooper's 1974 original, when Gunnar Hansen emerges and smashes Kirk with a hammer. The sound design of the film is a sickening thud, and it really speaks to Leatherface's physicality. This hulking strength made all the more realistic by Hansen's own bulky frame. We can believe that the impact from Leatherface is truly that of a character with real heft and physical power, likely built up from years of slaughterhouse work and other unsavoury activities. That show of brutal force has forever etched itself in the minds of horror enthusiasts. Number 5. Michael Myers, Halloween franchise. Never underestimate the power of inhuman patience. It certainly seemed to do the body of young Michael Myers some good.
Michael?
From an unassuming murderous child, he's grown to become one of the most physically unstoppable horror icons of all time. It isn't as if Myers is a bodybuilder or anything, but the shape wasn't messing around when he nailed poor Bob to the wall in the original Halloween. Elsewhere, Myers has consistently showcased his resilience to death and dying, a relentless machine that's motivated like a great white to survive from sequel to sequel. Maybe it's the gas station overalls, or the raw power of that Shatner mask, but the strength of Michael Myers certainly seems to be flowing from somewhere. Number 4. Matt Cordell, Maniac Cop franchise. Matt Cordell was a beast before he was turned into the Maniac Cop, and we have great casting to thank for that. Actor Robert Zadar was actually a college football player, musician, dancer, and cop before he got the gig. That made it easy for the character actor to step into Cordell's demonic shoes as an officer who's sent to prison, only to return after his murder to take revenge on the living. Zadar looks great in a uniform and uses his size to perfectly adapt Cordell's strength and police training to the screen. It's Zadar's performance that makes it easy to buy into Maniac Cop's memorable tagline, "You have the right to remain silent forever." Number 3. Bruce, Jaws franchise. This pick might be the entry that's most relatable. Who wouldn't be afraid of a great white shark? The The OG shark from Jaws, affectionately known as Bruce to the cast and crew, is strong enough to eat Quint alive, sink his ship, the Orca, and nearly take out all of our main characters. Not too shabby for a mechanical fish that consistently malfunctioned and almost bankrupt production.
You guys okay over there?
Today, we have Bruce to thank for the ocean of Jaws rip-offs that have filled movie screens and rental shelves. Not to mention those memorable scenes in Jaws: The Revenge, when the Great White followed the Brody family and apparently roared for some reason. Gotta love it.
Smile, you son of a...
Number 2, The Entity. It Follows. The entity from It Follows was nothing if not persistent. This 2014 horror gem presented a unique premise, building upon the notion of a sexually transmitted infection and anthropomorphizing it into this unholy and supernatural chain letter. The entity follows the latest person with the mark and kills those behind them in a line. It can seemingly take the appearance of just about anyone and maintains awe-inspiring physical strength regardless of the body it chooses. The scene at the swimming pool specifically showcases how the entity can handle multiple attackers at once and fight them all off with relative ease. The only way to keep it at bay is to create as much distance as possible, at any cost. Before we name our number 1 pick, here are a few honourable mentions. Pinhead, Hellraiser franchise, hooks, chains, and a whole lot of suffering.
Oh, no tears, please. It's a waste of good suffering.
The Creeper, Jeepers Creepers franchise. The eyes have it. The Toolman, Phantasm franchise. The Undertaker and his pals.
Boy.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications.
Number 1, Jason Voorhees, Friday the 13th franchise. Pure physical dominance. This perfectly describes Jason Voorhees, who's been crushing kids at Camp Crystal Lake for over 40 years. The little boy who wasn't a strong swimmer sure grew up to be a physically fit survivalist, as Voorhees is built like a brick house with intimidation to spare. Jason has been played by a number of actors and stuntmen over the years, but all of them bring their unique physical attributes to the role. Ted White and Steve Dash were early standouts, particularly Dash as Baghead Jason in Part 2, while Derek Mears killed it in the 2009 reboot. It's Kane Hodder who's most closely associated with Voorhees, however, bringing that heavy breathe-in and machete-swinging swagger to the role for 4 installments.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.